Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Roundtable Podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Guys, I'm your host, one of your hosts.
And I'm the co-host, Lady B.
That's right, Antonio and Lady B.
We waiting on our other co-host to step in a moment.
That's right. But guys, anyway, welcome to the podcast. Yes. I know it takes time for people to come on and different things such as that matter. But just for a sound check, can you hear us, Jazz? Just on the sound check, just want to make sure. But we get this thing going on, that you can hear us. So talk.
That's right. That's right.
You don't have to.
Yep. So we got some hot topics today, guys. I'm excited in a minute to jump into it once.
That's right. We finna go ahead and get in. Guys, listen. Welcome to the podcast,
That's
guys.
Right.
We'd like to thank you for
guys.
coming out to the podcast, for checking us out.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. We want you guys to. We really want to keep kicking out good content. So we want you guys to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there, follow us, like our Facebook page, share, guys. That's so important. We need, a community of people just sharing, because we got some good stuff that's coming at you. Yes, we do. So
yeah. And guys, listen, we like to say, I like to let everyone know the reason why we want you to share, and not just share, but go to our YouTube page. Guys, go to our YouTube page. We'll put that on the screen. And the reason why we need you to actually go to the YouTube page is because when you go to the YouTube page, and subscribe and like the page, it makes us stronger, so that we can continue to be a voice for our people, in the way that we know how to do it. You know what I mean? In the way we know how to do it, where we can just be a voice, and that's all we want to do. Is we just want to be a voice to the cause. You know what I mean? And it takes you subscribing. It takes you liking the page. It takes you all of this help. It takes you. To help us make a difference, because we can get them on the show. A lot of times they don't even do a show if the numbers aren't right. But if the numbers are right, they'll do that show. And guess what? That's the chance that you have to put that politician, whoever it may be, you can put their feet to the fire.
Most definitely.
Not their foot, but their feet to the fire. Both of them. You can put them to the fire. So subscribing to our YouTube page.
Yes, like
at the what is it? At the Roundtable Official. No, at the Roundtable Podcast Official. You can go to that YouTube page and like and subscribe. Too. Yeah, and go to our website. Is that, I don't know that address for the website.
She usually pop it up. Our
producer,
so I don't know.
If it's put up, that's cool. So but guys, that's what it is. Go to our guys. I believe that we're actually watching. You can watch live on our Facebook page. No, on our website. You can actually watch for live. Definitely. I mean, you can actually watch live.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on. Guys, right. So let's. Hey, I think Lovely T have stepped in the room.
Hey, Lovely T, how are you,
everybody?
Hey, everybody. So, but anyway,
what y'all do for Juneteenth?
Juneteenth, Juneteenth.
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. What do you do?
I mean, I have to give a shout out to my agency. They actually decided to recognize Juneteenth as a paid holiday for us. So we actually got the day off.
Wow.
And I took my family, we went downtown. We were looking for, I had saw on the news where the youth had painted "Power to the People" on the street. So we were looking for that. And end up running into a protest they were having. I don't know if it was a protest, but they were gathered at the Spirit of Detroit there on Woodward. And we just took it in. I made my son do a 1-page paper on Juneteenth and what is it, and why is it important to acknowledge it. So we just took the day in, but giving shout outs to my organization for being proactive.
Most definitely.
Kudos to them.
Kudos.
That's real. That's cool. To
acknowledge. Yes.
Yeah, and your son. That's now. See, that's what time it is. Educating them. Can I hear her? I can't hear.
Yes.
Oh, I thought maybe it was a delay. But anyway, it's still cool. We good. But my thing is I'm just hoping that we look at what's going on as a whole, this whole country, and understand what's really going on, getting the picture, not just letting this die down, and just go away, and it happens again. That should never happen again. And guys, listen, I would like to go in and make sure you just like and subscribe. Make sure you like and share the page, guys. We'll continue on with the conversation. I don't know, what is the topic that we're having today?
So our title is Black Privilege. So basically in this episode, guys, we will be talking about, is it a such thing as Black privilege? The Black wealthy and elite, what do they think about racism? Lil Wayne said he has never, ever experienced racism and that there is no such thing as racism. He said his concern is only his children, his world, and nothing else. He said a white police officer attended to him when he was near death and the Black officer stepped over him.
Wow. So, now, do we have a video to play here, or what are we going to do? We got
a video.
I would really like to see that one.
Look at the video.
Yeah, let's see. Can we get this video in here?
Go one level deeper. I remember one time I saw you. You had done a concert. I think it was in Westchester, different kind of neighborhood. But I asked you what the racial breakdown was of your audience. Do you remember this? You told me the only black face you could see in the whole audience was your makeup artist. I believe that's what you said. She was in the front row, right? A lot of white kids love rap.
Yes.
Explain that. What does that say to you? What's the message of it? What's the bigger picture of it?
I don't want to be bashed because I don't want to sound like I'm on the wrong, if there is a side, but I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism. That's what I thought that was.
Okay.
That was a perfect example. When I look out and I come up off the stage, when I'm coming out the bottom of the stage in my show when I'm on tour, and I'm in my stance or whatever, and I open my eyes and I see everybody. I don't have this type of crowd or that type of. My crowd has always been everybody, thank God, and that's all I can answer for. So.
Do you think the younger generation, the millennials, do you think they're moving a little further away from the racism as opposed to where it used to be?
It's not cool to them.
Right.
It's not cool to them. It don't matter to them. And when it's so not cool that it doesn't even matter to them. They're like, what? He's what? They're like, what happened? And that's their response. That's the millennials' response.
But could it be that you're a musician, and
do you want to end it?
Professional athlete or as a
all right, so
we should have propped the part where it showed him talking about.
It was a part where the police said when he was laying on the ground in the house, they raided the home and he was shot all up. He said that the black police officers jumped over him. They didn't even attend to him. They didn't see was he okay. The white police said, no, we need to get him to the hospital now. And they said, how we gonna do that? And he was like, we're gonna put him in our car. And the white police, they got him up and took him to the hospital. He was able to survive. But he said that he felt like it wasn't, he don't feel like it's any racism. He have never experienced it. He said it was the black people that did him bold. So I don't, so.
And then a lot of times it depends on who you're in terms of your record sales, who's buying those records or CDs or whatever you want to call them. That would depend on, in other words, if I know that white people are buying my music, I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna stay on the right side.
I'm gonna stay on this right. I'm gonna stay on the right side because they helping me do what they
money in my bank.
It happen, right?
So what do you think, Lovely T?
Well, I think what we're seeing from Lil Wayne, like he's forming his opinion based on his direct observation without looking at it with a critical eye. I mean, it's kind of the same as a child looking at Snow White or the earlier Disney films and being caught up in a fantasy and not really understanding like the underlying messages that are being taught in those movies. Like you have to look at things with a critical thought. And I don't think that he's doing that. Going back to his example that you said with the cop, like, was the black cop in a position to make those decisions? Or was it or was it the white cop that had the authority to make those kind of decisions and therefore felt more comfortable making that kind of call? And I'm not saying that was the case, but did he see it through that lens? You know what I mean? He just saw, the white cop helped me and the black cop didn't. Well, was the black cop even in a position to make that call? He talked about the white people being in the audience. How much were your tickets, Lil Wayne? You know what I mean? Like, could the average Louisiana person living in the and I don't know Louisiana enough to know what part is like the ghetto part, but could they afford your tickets to be in the front of the stage? Maybe that's why you saw a sea of white kids when you looked out. You know what I mean? So again, being careful and being critical about what he sees, I think is important, and I think that was lacking when that racism doesn't exist because he hasn't experienced it himself. He just hasn't opened his eyes to see it.
Do you think that it's a such thing as black privilege, like people that's like high up that have a lot of money? You think they really see racism? If you haven't experienced racism, does that mean that it doesn't exist? From their perspective, like elites or people with a lot of money.
Well, I see RW3 just joined us. I'll step back and let RW3 chime in.
I think, hello, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, guys. Happy Father's Day.
I know you part of the elitists didn't give me a tone, no love.
Oh my God. It was my intent. Like I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, I was gonna text y'all. Then I was like, I'm gonna just wait till we on the air and I'm gonna be like, Happy Father's Day.
But we understand. The intent of it was the intent of when they was talking about 40 acres and a mule, they had intent, didn't happen.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Just even to go on that. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes.
We would like to, and especially from what just happened. George Floyd won't be there with his kids today. And so I salute all black fathers, white fathers too, but I'm talking about just for this time. And this situation is went on. This man won't be able to be, even Mr. Brooks in Atlanta, Georgia, won't be with his kids today. I don't know if Ahmad had kids, But these black men won't be with their kids today. So I salute all fathers, in particular all black fathers, for the struggle that they have to go, just just the struggle of life itself.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
salute all fathers, black fathers that stayed in the war. Who stayed in it. I salute you, and kudos to you, sir. And even all of the black mothers who had to be fathers, who had to step up and be fathers
Yes.
for their kids. I know that a woman can't give a child, especially a boy child, what he need as much so as a father. But kudos to that woman, that black woman, is staying in the fight to raise that child to be a man one day. So even kudos to you. Happy Father's Day to you as well. So I want you to know that. So, but guys, listen, we were in this thing, and I guess here's the thing with the Wayne situation. See, you have to understand that Lil Wayne, when his rap career, when he even got into the rap career, he was a young guy. He was a very young guy. He gotten a lot of money at a young age. So his paradigm is not the same as someone who's the average black young man who's out in these streets. He's totally different. So, and he's grown years and years with money. And see, that's the thing that we forget. So sometimes we have a closed eye, if we do, or closed ear, is because we don't see that in our community every day, because our community have changed by the zip code. You know what I mean? It's totally changed. So now I don't live that life like I see you live, and I see these white people coming to me, giving me who's actually, I mean, really liking and feeling my music. You know what I mean? And I see them as cool people because they see me as cool. So his mindset would be totally different if he didn't draw back to say, wait a minute, but I still understand the struggle that my people have to go through. So I'm gonna have a blind eye to this because I choose to, not because I have to, even though, I mean, come on now, if you got 100 million in the bank too, and you was a little kid, not a little kid, but you're a teenager, you're making all this money. Sometimes you might close a door to a part of that part of your life, because you don't want to admit that it's still like Jay-Z used the song.
Yeah, like the song. I don't know. We can't play
the N-word. We don't
but know
for copyright issues. But just the fact that about the OJ song.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Have you guys heard that Jay-Z song, the OJ song?
I haven't heard.
Oh no. Okay. But I mean, we talking about the millennials and Lady B, I think you had said, like, is this younger generation more for lack of a better term, colorblind? I mean, you have youth or young adults in Lil Wayne's age group that are very conscious. I mean, so like Tone said, I think it's a choice for him, even though he was raised in money. I mean, come on, like we have movie stars like what's the comedian?
Dave Chappelle.
He has he even talks about how he was pulled over. Money does not exclude a black man from being harassed by the police. So again, I just say that I can't excuse Lil Wayne because he grew up with money, because racism doesn't discriminate. I think he's choosing, like you said, Tone, to kind of pretend that it doesn't exist.
Right.
But go ahead.
But I mean, Tone mentioned a little bit. I mean, Tone kind of spoke on it, and I really thought about it. His experience, for him to say it doesn't exist is one thing, but the fact that, you know, if we're believing what he's saying, I mean, if he has not personally have that lived experience, sometimes it's difficult to connect with it when you have not lived that experience. If he's basically saying, I have not experienced racism, I have not lived it, it's difficult for me to connect to it, what that experience looks like. So, but what my problem is when he says it doesn't exist without a qualifier. Like, it doesn't exist for me personally, but I know it exists. But personally, I haven't experienced, you know, the racism. But in fact, he has, because we can go back historically. And again, we talked about it the last show, because of just off the strength of when the, you know, going back some, when the slaves when they were quote unquote free, and I think the southern coast, they were given maybe like 400,000 acres initially of land, and then when Lincoln got assassinated, and then they revoked that, Lyndon B. Johnson, and then gave the land back to the owners, all the land that we had helped cultivate and generate an economy. Matter of fact, I had read somewhere a while back that if the South were on their own, they had the fourth leading economy in the world, just off labor from Black folk. Mm-hmm. So the point is, so the fact that all that land went back to them, and then in essence, we were back to a extreme disadvantage, or a dependent or reliant space on white folks, that set us back generations.
Absolutely.
So mm-hmm. It had, for example, had that not happened, you know, of course, it may be it might be more equitable right now. So he's experienced, in a sense, that when he, on his earlier songs, talking about those projects in New Orleans, mm-hmm. when Baby talking about coming from the dirt in the projects, that's a direct result of what happened. So he did experience it, because he wasn't born with the money. He lived in it because Baby helped. Baby took him in because of his dysfunctional family situation. Again, that's an issue as well from slavery, how the families were broken, and some of that stuff permeated generations. So family issues and where he was living. So that's a direct result of what happened back when we were ultimately, you know, beforehand, but we were freed. So he did experience. He's not being honest.
Well, he's not right. He's choosing to not think critically about the situation, and I mean, and maybe that's giving him a pass, even saying that, RW3. But he's just like, hey, the people in my concert are white, you know. But like I said, like he's just not thinking of the situation critically. And what makes it so harmful, does show some hesitation, because he's like, I don't want to choose the wrong side, because he's thinking about his money probably. But the danger in him saying something like that is because he does have such a huge following, you know. And so when you have such a huge platform, you can use that power for leverage. You know what I'm saying? It's a tool. So how are you going to use that tool? So when you sit there and you say something like, well, racism doesn't exist,
right,
you perpetuate a level of ignorance amongst the
followers. In his mindset, unless he's lying, unless Little Wayne, and this is something that happened, I think, a couple of years ago, some years ago. This is not something that he said recently or anything like that. So we really don't know what's Little Wayne stand on definitely from the George Floyd situation. So I don't really know where his mindset is today. But just to say, I guess to me, I don't want to use the word he's lying. I think he's in denial. I don't believe that he think he's lying. I believe he's just in denial. See, this is the thing. When you receive something, especially money, it becomes a habit. You know, you build a lifestyle around this money, and all of these people just loving on you and all this old stuff. So it becomes a mindset where you become used to this. Believe it or not, you have people who come straight out of the hood and became millionaires and almost forgot about that lifestyle or how I've actually was treated. Right. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest with you. I've never really experienced racism myself, like just personally. Never really experienced it myself, but I still can go back to a mentality to say that it exists. But hold on, I just want to say this. Yeah. I guess so my thing is with Lil Wayne, I don't want to lose focus, but my thing is that maybe he's never experienced it, but yet he's still in denial that it exists because of the lifestyle he's used to living and how people treat him. And that's what I think about.
Well, I'm good you said that too, because it's a lady named Robin D'Angelo. I don't know if you guys heard of. She have a book written called White Fragility, and she talks about. She said racism is a system. It's not an event. So that's what she's saying. And so he may not have experienced it like quote unquote like one-on-one, but it's in the system.
Right.
You know, it's
right because right. I want to bring up Tone. I want to push back on that a little bit because you shared a story with us about and correct me if I'm wrong, about a deal that you were trying to get in the school system or somewhere, and you felt like the only difference.
Well, that's why I said physically.
And your was race. Like they didn't even you had talked about how you felt they didn't even give you a chance to kind of go back and negotiate. They just cut you all the way out because this other company was, white.
Well, see, that's the thing. Now I can't. That's why I use the word physically. I haven't physically been. Experience it. Now, when you go to the systemic racism and really looking in systemic racism, maybe Lil Wayne didn't experience it, but it doesn't mean that the systemic part didn't affect him and he just didn't know about it because of somebody could have denied him something. He just didn't really realize that, wow, that was because of systemic racism. You know what I mean? So because of this system of living within an infrastructure of people, whether it be economical, health, whatever it is, we sometimes don't see it firsthand, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I guess that's how I would look at it. I believe he experienced it. I don't think he just knew he did.
And like real quick, guys, real quick. Also, Miss Johnson, she's a co-founder of BET. She is a 1%er. She said no matter how much money you get, you will always be lonely due to her words. If you are a person of color, no matter how much money you have, you are still who you are.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Did she say lonely?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. I was looking at something that was like that. It was the 1%ers, and they were showing the blacks of the 1%ers.
Yeah.
And it was a real estate this guy, and then it was this one lady. I forget what she did, but she was mad rich, and she said that same thing.
She's the BET co-founder of BET,
but not this lady.
Ms. Johnson.
Right? I know who she is. I'm saying that this one lady was saying how lonely she is because here's her dilemma. There's no one who's making money like she, in terms of like there's more white people who are rich, who she can mingle, become friends with, where it's not a lot of black folks or black people that has that same type of wealth that she can trust herself around. Not saying that there's not black people around, but then to me, I would build millionaires. If that was me, I would make it not lonely. I would make millionaires, black entrepreneurs who really, I feel is doing what they need to do. I would support them and make those friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And see, so my thing is that Lil Wayne is just like a lot of us where we're in denial because I've seen that with people with college degrees. They thought, I know someone personally, they thought because they moved to a community, they received their degree, they automatically believe that they were better than that black folk or those black people that's in the city, or they would reference Detroit as being this bad place because they have a degree, got a decent job, and now making six figures. So it does exist. Even Lil Wayne's scale is just a little bit bigger than the other set of mind frames of people out here.
Right, but at the end of the day, like Jay-Z say and whoever else say, that you still who you are. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter if you move to the on top of the hill.
See, here's the thing. And see, this is why I would stay on Lil Wayne. It's my reason that I would stay on the Lil Wayne syndrome. It's because, see, that's what I mean. What I mean by that, we believe, and I'm going to black folks, black people. Sometimes I'll say, to me, what's so stupid is that we believe as black people that we can make it on our own without the support of our own people. And we get into a situation where it's like a pool of fish. When you throw a tadpole in another pool of fish, it's going to get lost, meaning that this is the black person jumping into a society full of white people who are millionaires, and you're getting sucked up in there, making those people your life, because you can't go back to black people who making the same amount of as much money you are. You get what I mean?
Right,
so what am I saying? Only thing I'm saying is I'm going back to say that mentality is throughout all of our black people. Once we get a couple of dollars in our pocket, we think we become better than the next person. And it's so,
I mean,
it's not true at all.
Yeah. And so like, yeah. So like for me, like I went in the city today looking for there's a particular dollar store that I wanted to go to. And, I get there and all out in front of the store is just trash everywhere. I mean, the garbage can is overflowing, trash all on the cement. I don't know if well, I do know. I don't walk around with the air like I feel like I'm better than the people that may shop there. But I just don't understand. Like what I'm uncomfortable with is like the complacency.
She's probably going to pop back in.
Yeah.
We didn't catch what you said. The last word we heard was complacency.
Yeah, like I'm not comfortable with the complacency and the acceptance of allowing that store owner to keep their property okay because of where it's located and who it serves. You know what I mean? And so I think like, so when I voice my disgust, I'm not putting on an air of like, I think I'm better than them. I'm putting on an air. I'm just disappointed that, we don't hold this store owner more accountable for how they keep their, like, we deserve better than this. That's what I'm saying. Like, we deserve better. Like, I should be able to come into your store or pull up in your parking lot and not be greeted with a bunch of dang on trash all over the ground.
How did the trash get out there?
The people,
people should be responsible too for their own actions.
You know what I'm saying? But either way, I'm not saying that I think I'm better, but it just made me be like, dang, I need to go out to the dollar store in the suburbs if I want to walk into a clean environment. Like,
no, I'm not talking about the people who are trying to do better and who know within them own selves that they're not better. I'm not talking to those. I'm talking to the people who actually believe that they're better. See, here's the thing, and here's the thing. I'm about to go there, right? The only if you look at our life, black folks, black people, the only thing that we really can say that we have had or some type of success in is a degree. That's it. Now, see, I'm just gonna lay it down on the table. I mean, there's not a lot of black millionaires as they are degree holders of Black African Americans. I don't believe that there are. I believe there might be less millionaires and more degree holders, people who have a degree. So only thing we really look at as a true success, because what did your mama say? Oh, my baby done went to school. She done went back to college, and oh, this boy here, you remember this young man gonna be somebody because he went to college. He you know, I mean, that was that thing in our community was the degree. We didn't think past that though. That's why there's not a lot of entrepreneurs. There's not a lot of entrepreneurs or millionaire as they are degree holder Black folks. So my thing is, we preach to because that's what we seen that the white people were doing. Oh yeah, if you go get a degree, then you'll be better. So you'll be successful, not better, but you'll be successful. So we strive for that degree instead of where I've heard some millionaires say that they didn't pay for their kid to get an education when they were billionaires or millionaires. They paid for their kids and taught them how to become entrepreneurs so that they can make money, because they live in a capitalist society that is not about, listen to me, it's not about what you have, it's about what you have in the bank. Yeah, I mean, that determines white supremacy. Listen, it's not a white person and their job that make them special. Is about the money that they have and the access to capitalism, to money, and resources and credit. That's what makes them more dominant in the area, not because they're actually educated.
Well, listen. This is, and my thing is my term is, I want to move away from degree for me and talk about education as general. And this is what I mean. The wider focus, of course, historically, hey, get a degree, whatever. I think that's a synonym in my mind for education. This is what I mean. When we were on the plantations, there's one thing they did, because they knew what could keep us in a space of inferiority. We couldn't read or write.
Illiteracy, that's right.
So as soon as we became free, people were coming from the north, the people in the south were coming, white folks too, to educate Black folks on read. They put an emphasis on reading and writing, because that will open the door for, at that time, for them to be able to understand and comprehend entrepreneurship and how to own. But if a person is not educated, I'm not saying degree per se, but if you can't read or write, that's why education is number one, and that's why it's pushed so much in the community, because when we were in slavery, we cannot read. It was against the law for us to be educated.
Yeah.
So that's why it's such an emphasis. So now you're educated. Now that opened doors to, like you said, entrepreneurship, understanding capitalism, understanding world economy. But if you can't read or write or don't know how to critically think, it doesn't matter.
Well, see, this is my thing though. See, here's my thing. I don't know if he's. I don't want to cut him off if he's still talking. So, but my thing is that no, I get that, but obviously we were talking about, you need to have a basic education. And that's what you're saying. Basic reading and writing is basic education. College is another step up and is more of a choice. I've heard more people say, and from just me listening, not me knowing these people personally, but I've heard people say that even Mark, what is his name, the billionaire, Shark Tank, Mark Cuban. Even Mark Cuban said, and obviously he's not Black, but even he said that, he thought education not as a joke, but he didn't need what he thought that they should give him in terms of a business degree. He only picked and chose. He did get educated. He did get educated in understanding in that particular area, but he didn't pursue it as a bachelor's degree. He just took it. So what I'm saying is that, see, the mindset, even if we draw back to a day of slavery, It's not that these people were illiterate. It was that they didn't understand this language, that they were taken from their own language and forced into a different society or world where they couldn't learn this new society.
Right.
So we don't want to look at it as they were dumb or stupid people, because that was besides the point. They were actually very educated in their own area. So let's make sure we add to this that these were very educated people to their own country, to their own native language. So my thing is they I mean, just like now, if I take you and force you into a society that you have no knowledge of, and then I even though this is very popular, I tell you can't learn. I mean, it is what it is. So you know what I mean? So we had to pick up a new language, a Western society language. So that's how I look at that. But what I'm saying is, if you do the data, and the research, and I'm not saying you will see some of the most successful people don't have degrees. They don't have.
Well, some of the most, and I don't. So that's always. I mean, you carry a theme, and you've carried a theme since we started since I started being on the podcast. And I don't know what it is about, degreed folks and them either thinking they're better than everybody. And I don't take your comments personal, me being a degree holder, because I've been out of school for like 20 plus years. So the degree in and of itself is just a piece of paper. Now, it does say something about my perseverance and my own personal experience of all that it took for me to get those degrees. And that's what people who have degrees, when you look at someone who has a degree, it's not just, oh, I had this degree, so now I'm an expert and I'm all knowing and I'm all better. What it says is that I was able to commit to something. I was able to accomplish something. I was able to persevere and finish something. For a lot of people. Now, that's not the case for all people. So my degree means more than just I went through 4 years, or in my case, 8 years, and got a master's degree, and so I'm educated. It means way more than that. So that's why I try not to take it personal, but it kind of stings for me because it minimizes all that it took for me to get that. When you say, people who have degrees always think they're better than, or people who have degrees don't have much. I do agree with you, though. This is the part that I want to get to. I do agree with you that the piece that is missing in the Black culture, finance piece, because a lot of Black families, it was just in my generation or the generation before me that you had a lot of Black families whose children were going, or who in that family went to college they were the first person in that family to go to college. You know what I mean? So we just now getting to that point. But the missing component to that is the fact that finance is not talked about enough in Black family, in Black culture, and it's not practiced enough. So I think there's a way to make this an and conversation versus a or conversation. You can have education. No one can take your education away from you. Your business can get taken away. It can fold over. Because we are embedded in racism, you may not get access to the loans like white people do, or have the hereditary wealth like white people do, is to have seed money to get off into a business. But once you get an education, no one can take that away from you. And that's what propels people into a middle class status, statistically, research proven.
That's true.
I just need to say that.
No, I get that. See, this is my thing, because I don't want to get it misconstrued. But what am I saying? I'm saying that this is something that does go on within the Black community. You know who you are. If it doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't matter. But you know who you are. I've known people personally known people who've had that type of attitude because of a degree. And my thing is that you know why I target that so much? Because I know that that's in our community. So I like to keep jerking at something over and over again till we start changing our mindset. Because see, it's in our community. That's in our community where and I know there's people who believe that people change because they have gotten a degree. And maybe that's that person's own perception. But I guess all I'm saying is that narrative has to change. If it exists out there, it's going back to the Jay-Z song about OJ. When he say, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Then he paused and say, okay. So what is he saying? He's saying that so if you believe because of you, this person, that it's not going to affect your blackness, he's saying, okay, let's see how that goes. So all I'm telling you is that we have to tear down that narrative that other people, even outside of our own society, have to say that we pull each other down all the time. It's known in our community that we pull each other's down. It's known from other people that's not even our own race that we pull each other down. And when I'm telling you, I'm taking the hierarchy from the things that I've seen in terms of those type of people who say, well, I don't think that way, or you're beneath me, or because it is, and it's not even the truth. So I guess all I'm saying is unity. This is going back to Lil Wayne, unity.
Yeah, like elite.
Unity.
So we want to say elites. Why do elites, certain people, when they get like a certain income status, they move out of certain communities? Why do they do that?
Well, because they have to be safe, for one. And that's honestly God true. Some of them have to do that just to be safe. But I guess all I'm targeting this area just to say we have to wake up as a people. But hold on, let me say this. When we use the word about how your business can fail, see, here's the thing between that. An entrepreneur, a business-minded person, they already have the gift within them. So it's not that it's the business that's why most investors, they say they invest in the person, not in the business, because it's not the business that make you successful. See, here's the thing, if you put me out there with a lot of other different people, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm going to make money regardless. You get what I mean? Because it's in me. It's not something that I have to go get a degree and learn. It's inside of me to hustle. So my thing is that, so it's not about the business. So most people who run businesses, either, it's not that they can't do it again. It's a lot of work. It's like you do a degree. It's a lot of work. It's not saying that they can't go start it all over again, because they can. It's just the time it is going to take to make it happen. So, and that's what I'm saying, that, I want to draw back is just to say that Lil Wayne, he's looking at I think he's in denial. I think that's the word that I will use.
And so our main focus was black privilege. So do we think that people that on the high end in terms of income brackets, do you think it's a such thing as black privilege?
Yeah, it's definitely black privilege. It's definitely.
Real quick, a couple things. We had Anita Johnson. Thanks for joining. Anita, you said no. If you could expound on that, what are you saying no to? So we can kind of comment on that. Also, Evangelist Beverly Sanders. I am better. She says some stores are just plain nasty. They actually hate black people. And sadly to say, there's more. We can sometimes, she said, basically sometimes we can tear down our own environment. She said, I'm just saying.
That's true.
Thanks, Beverly Evangelist Sanders.
We can tear down our own. I don't really know exactly what that means, but I do believe that, we hurt our own people. We hurt our own. We don't bring. There's people. Not to put RW3 out there, but I've known people that he just because he shifted to a certain level of income or whatever he might have, he'll bring somebody with him. So I've seen him do that, and that's what we need to do as a community. See, that's okay. So here's the thing: I can have the degree if it puts me in to me, it don't matter if you ain't making over 100,000 anyway. So my thing is that if you have that degree and it's making you 100, 250,000, if you can open the door for someone else in that position, or work with them, or if anything, I mean, whatever it is you can do, whatever it is you really can do. You know, I tell my kids all the time, you want to make at least, even to survive in this society, you want to at least make 60,000 a year. At least. I'm talking about that's at a low end in order to even go out to some of these places to get an apartment, to do it. You want to at least make 60,000 a year. Now, you know, obviously a degree can put you in that area.
Open doors for you. It does do that.
I believe it's not the degree, it's the hustle. So if you have the degree, you still have to hustle wherever you are to make things work for you. But, you know, I think, you know, that's why, you know, if you do have the power or income or a position that you can help pull your brother and sister up, that's what you should focus on. I know that I make more money than you. I know that I can drive a better car than you if I chose to. It's just that's irrelevant to what you need. You know what I mean? So my thing is that instead of always talking about me, let's look at what it is you need, my brother, my sister, so that I can bring you up. I shouldn't have a closed ear to say that racism doesn't exist. See, here's the thing. And even with this systemic racism, it was this, I think it was a congressman or whatever. I did it on one of the videos. You guys can go check it out for the round table. I think he was someone high up. I forget who he was. But this clown didn't believe that systemic racism exists. He didn't believe that it exists, just like Wayne don't believe that racism exists. They are the most dangerous people that you can never meet, because the ones who are in control, when they don't believe that systemic racism exists or that racism itself exists, then they are the problem. They're more the problem than not the problem, because you're so naive or a closed mind with you can't recognize that another people are being harmed.
So, but like Lil Wayne, he has plenty of money, so he can go and buy him a house for cash, or he can go buy him a car for cash. But the systematic racism will come in with if I go to, I don't have the money like Lil Wayne, and I go apply for a house with my black face. I'm just saying, and they can turn me down. But if I got the cash, I can buy my house. So you're not gonna be faced with that opposition of systematic racism, because you got cash money. Even for a car, if I don't have the cash money, but I got to go try to get a loan, but I can get turned down because of systems that's in place. But he can go buy a car right with cash, so he's not gonna experience it as much as people that don't really have the money. You know what I'm saying?
And even I saw this guy being interviewed the other day. You know, he lives in a over $1 million gated community. He's the only black there, and he said he experienced, he's afraid to let his children go out because he gets certain comments. And I've read one article, one person, an affluent quote unquote black person, they had a cross. Well, we don't want you here. They had plenty of money and they were in an affluent neighborhood. You know what, Tony? To your point, I just thought about something. There's one thing to the point when we talk about degree, which I think is valid, and this is this. I could interview someone and they would say, because I have this degree, I'm automatically entitled to something. And I will say to them, your degree your degree alone doesn't make you valuable to me. Right. If you don't have a history of success, like, when I was in a school, I would interview someone, I got a degree, I got the certification, I've been a teacher for 5 years. Then I say, what school you come from? Then I'll pull up the school. I say the scores were trash. And I'll say, what subject did you teach? All this stuff was trash. And I'll say, and why should I pay you this money? You came from a failing situation. You contributed to the failing culture. So the fact that you have a degree doesn't mean you should earn this. Now, if you can show me that with your degree, along with a history of measured success, then we can talk. But don't walk in the door because I have it. That's why every time I go to the table and I talk to people, on my resume, I talk about, when I got here, school had 310 kids. Within 5 years, we got to 430. When I got there, we had $900,000 in our cash fund balance. When I left, we had 1.2 million. So my thing is, bringing me is not a degree, is that when I come, stuff is going to change. And the value to whatever we're doing is going to increase. And that speaks, like you said, to the hustle.
Yeah.
Degree without the hustle. Can I ask you though, Robert, can I ask you, would that person even got a call if they didn't have the degree? Did the position require at minimum that the person have that level of education?
Well, and this is the thing. I would agree with that. I'm gonna say, I agree with that, but to the point that when they come in, though, this is my point to the degree, because I have the degree, I'm entitled to something.
No, and so, not that I feel like my point needs to be validated, but
yeah,
but education does, at least, like Lady B said, it creates access. Now, like you said, your track record, your accomplishments, and all of those things, when you have degreed individuals sitting at the table, then you can begin to look at all of those things. But they can't even get to the table without the degree. The position itself requires the degree. So the degree allows access. It allows a seat at the table. Now, what you have to show and prove once you get to the table, like you say, that goes to your hustle, your drive. But
let me throw this at you, though. What about this? And you've seen this, though. I've seen a lot of descriptions now, degree or equivalent experience.
Number of years of experience.
I see a lot of that.
Yeah.
You ain't got a degree, but you have the experience in alignment. So that can get you to the table.
That's right.
Well, see, I think here's the thing, right? I don't want to get it twisted. I don't want to. Yeah, that's for us.
Yeah,
that's for us. I get what you're saying. It sounds good, but that's only for us.
That's right.
Hear me clear. That's what I'm talking about white supremacy. Well, what I'm saying is that you have to have that degree. But I've seen or known of certain people, we've seen situations, we don't want to go into personal business that we know, and that's why I want to make sure we don't do that. That we know people who have also said that they've seen people get hired because of their skin color and get the job, and these people weren't black, and they knew more than some of the things that these people say had to be trained. So what I'm saying is, please, this is why they're talking about, and one of the podcasters said, hey, I'm asking all podcasters to really push this about now I gotta remember what I would call it, reparations. About the reparations. And say the only way from billionaire Johnson, Robert Johnson, from the owner of BET, said himself. He said that the only way that we can even come to the level. Now it's up to you what you do with your money. I'm going to recant the things that I said in terms of when I told you guys about, hey, maybe we should just put it in programs. Yeah, maybe not. I'm gonna recant that. I'm going to say that I believe that, like he said, that no, don't put my money in a program.
Yeah,
give me my check.
That's right.
Let me do what I need to do with my check. But here's the thing, and I'm talking to black folks, that the reason why the reparations make sense is that to put us on the level of white society, of those who are educated in that society, because you got there's white people who aren't making much as some black people. That does exist too. But all I'm saying is what he's saying is that when you pay me or give me a certain level so that now I can fend for myself, whether that be education, whether that be entrepreneurship, or whether that be just sitting at the house eating all the donuts that I want and I pay for my house and chocolate milk. I mean, that's up to you what you do with your money. But I am saying that I agree with him. And until we understand that, I'm not saying that education is wrong. Obviously, I'm not. But even though education or colleges don't really give you the level of expectancy that you deserve in terms of the financial value that you place into their school, it doesn't make, they don't really feed you. They'll give you some okie doke stuff that don't even make sense half of the time. Or
and most of the stuff that you do learn, you learn from your own life. You have to really learn from your own.
And that's where Black people have to wake up to say college gets you in. It does. It does. But you better know something else than just waiting on that professor to pass out a piece of paper to you. You better start doing the research on your own. Listen, even for my daughters, a lot of them already knew how to do even me knew how to do a certain job. I just didn't say, hey, I want to be this person. I looked into it. But that was my gift. Maybe somebody else wanted to be a counselor. Well, then listen, go counsel go to church and sit with somebody and a counselor and learn their techniques. Go see, can you sit beside another counselor so you can pick up some traits or write down some terminology. I'm just saying, don't wait till you step into the school to want to learn. To me, go ahead.
Just for a couple of points, because I know we're at our hour mark. One, I will say this in terms, so structural racism. Every time we as a people come up, they change the goalposts. So, historically, we had a Black Wall Street where economics was priority and number one. And they found a way to destroy that.
Right.
So historically, what I'm saying? So then we jumped on the education bandwagon. And now education is not it's not the American dream that it used to be. When it was the majority of white people who were going through the higher education. Once we got access, they once again changed the goalposts. Let's remember, that's the danger of the structural racism, is that every time we think we can say with the next generation it's all about economics, but then structural racism is going to come in, and I hate to be a pessimist about it or have a pessimistic viewpoint, but they're going to figure out a way to change the goalpost again, and then it's going to be something else that we got. So the gatekeepers, the gatekeepers always have a way of keeping us, as an overall people behind and not in front. And that's just one viewpoint. The second point I wanted to make is in terms of the question itself for the show. Does Black privilege exist? So I just want to kind of clarify, from my understanding, it's when you talk about racism, you're talking about a power differential. And that's why you can't have reverse racism, because my hatred or my prejudice against the white person does not limit their access to housing, to healthcare, to jobs, to anything like that improves or declines their quality of life. However, white people who dislike us are in a position of power to do that, and therefore that's why there's racism and not anti-racism. Sure. Now, when you talk about privilege, though, we all as people have privileges. And in some way we're marginalized. And there was a young lady who did an experiment, and we used to do it all the time, is that she'll say, okay, how many of you don't have to worry about, who you're in love with, or how many, and everybody's in a line, and each time you don't have to worry about it, you get to step up. And then at the point that you do have to worry about something, you have to stay where you are. Or I think on Facebook, they had, put up your fingers, and you at the end of the exercise, you looked at how many fingers you still had left up. So we all, in a way, regardless of our color, our age, our social status, have a privilege, and we might be marginalized in other cases. So does Black privilege exist? I don't think that our skin color in and of itself creates a privilege, but there might be other qualities that we have that give us privilege, wherein for someone else, they may be marginalized. Like the fact that I'm a heterosexual, I am privileged in that aspect because I don't have to be discriminated against for who I may love versus someone who is a homosexual. So we all, in a way, hold some level of privilege, and that's out in there.
Well,
the answer to me is no. The answer, this is quick. I don't think Black privilege exists, because that would suggest there's privilege in this society, in this Americas, based on our color, that will anoint us with some type of advantage. And I don't think that exists. Like you said, T, is privilege connected to other qualities, but it's not because you're Black. I'm Black. That provides me more access to something that I would not otherwise. On the opposite end, that's why, like the same as what you said about reverse discrimination doesn't exist. It's almost reverse Black and white privilege. But because some people are white, there is privilege connected to that skin color, but there's no privilege connected just for being Black. Let
me say, but what I'm saying is though, but Black privilege, that's just what it is. See, here's the thing. How can it not exist? If I have more money than you, if I have more money, just alone, that because I have more money than you, I have more privilege than you have.
Yes.
So I mean,
it's the money, not the Blackness. It's the money.
But listen to what I'm saying. Black privilege is equal opportunity. If I have so let's do this. Let's look at Oprah Winfrey when she went to that, wherever she went. Remember that when she wanted to buy the purse, and the lady just looked at her skin color and didn't believe she could afford it. Right. You get what I mean? And then she just left until people figured out who she were. No, in that instance, of course. So we can draw a reference to the example. So that's the reference to the example. So now I get that part. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, Black privilege is what it is, the word privilege, where they can do things that you or me can't do. So to us, that's a form of white privilege. So what does that mean? If I can, there's a lot of people who haven't stepped up to the plate, or they've not made a comment because of their white sponsorship. Right. That's called Black privilege, because they're privileged in areas that other Black people aren't privileged in. Like you have your Rob or Johnson, Robert Johnson, a billionaire. Like you have a Tyler Perry. These men, whether you want to believe it doesn't exist, but these people have a privilege that you don't have. So what do we mean in that area? We're saying that there's people with Black privilege who aren't helping because they're privileged, and they believe if they step in that it would affect their funds or their bottom line because of the people that support them. That's what Black privilege is. And in this instant, in terms of white privilege, what white privilege people have because of their skin color, they can get into areas that normally other people can't get in, meaning of color, because of their skin color.
But I don't think the Black privilege is anything to do with the Black skin.
No, it has nothing to do with
it's not skin. That it's the privileged part, not that you Black.
Right.
It's the economic part. They are financially privileged. It is the finance that gives them the platform.
But it's still Black
finance
privilege.
You can't say it's Black privilege. I mean, you made the distinction yourself, Tom. White people who are born with a skin color automatically. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but there's a definition. Whether you believe that in your own personal world, you can pull up Black privilege, and there's people who actually is talking about it right now, and some of these people are billionaires. They say that there are people that are classified as Black privilege. Just like the matter of fact, Prophet Jordan, shout out to him, he even put that out in his book on why God is going to even deal with the Black man, because there are Black people out there who have Black privilege. Don't get it twisted. Black privilege, and they're not stepping in to help because it affects their bottom line. To me, they still Black. it's still black privilege. You get what I mean? So I don't know who
okay, so let me just say this. Black privilege. It came up because I just did a quick search. It came up in Wikipedia, so let's consider the source as black supremacy, which says that the term has been used by the Southern Poverty Law Center. It is a belief which maintains that black people are superior to people of other races. So that was just one definition.
But common sense. Now, I don't even have to look at a definition to give you common sense to say that you are a black person that is privileged. And when I look at you, you can help me out. But you decide not to help me out because of the people that are supporting you. That's black privilege. And I don't know, is that many terminologies of definitions to the word privilege? Let's look up the word privilege. Look up the word privilege.
But it's not their skin color that gave them that. It is their economic status that gave them that.
We get that.
Oh yeah,
we understand that. But what I'm saying
is, all I'm saying.
Nobody's stupid. We understand. We get.
But then you can't call it black privilege.
No, you can't call it black. Listen, okay. So here.
Why do they call it white privilege?
Well, white privilege.
Okay, there we go. And that's
skin color. No,
right. But what's the superior? What's that?
It's the wealth that they have behind them. It's right. It's listen.
Let's hold on. Let me jump in.
Okay, hurry up because I'm hot with this one. You gotta hurry up on this.
I'm gonna go from just a simplistic approach that's supported by, I think the last I had read, say you got a black person and a white person, both of them are poor, right? Both of them are poor. And because right now, I think I was reading some stats about employment practices or whatever. There's still an extreme gap between white folk getting hired and black people getting hired. So now, if you got a black person that walked to an interview and a white person walking to an interview, they're both poor. White privilege is because I'm white. You don't even know me. You don't know what my situation is.
That's what you think it is.
Let me finish. Well, that's a fact. So then you get in.
No, it's not a fact.
Then I'm hiring you because you're white.
No.
Now, hold on.
That plays into it. But it's not the factor. It's not the factor, but it plays into it.
Then, so when we talk about like we're
in shallow water right now.
Now we're talking about now I'm black and I have money.
Right.
I have money. Now I don't debate the argument. I have some additional privileges because of my economic status, and I happen to be black.
It's your
dollar. Not because I'm black, I have the privilege.
Well, a person can pay their way into any position. If they got the top dollar, they can pay their way in. They can pay their way out of court. They can pay their way out of
No, but that's still what you're still defending what they're saying about economics. Listen to what I'm saying. See, here it go. Let's go beyond shallow water. Let's not look at the shallow water. See, that is loosely. I can say, yeah, because your white privilege means because you're white skin. No, listen. Yeah, it connects. It does connect. But listen, you live in a capitalist society. What rules in America is who holds the bottom line. That's what supremacy comes from. Who holds the bottom line? In this society that we live in is dealt by wealth. It's dealt by how much money that picked up on how much power you have in this country. Don't get it twisted. It's money that rules this world, not color skin. Now, it just so happened to be that these people are white. Now, here we go. What makes the privilege come in? The privilege come in if I own the company and I'm white. So when I see you, I can grab my sister by the hand because of systemic racism and pull them up. It's not because of their skin color. It's because I got the right. And I can just do this because of the wealth that I have. So we got to look past the color scheme thing. And that's the same thing with black privilege. It still goes to the fact that I have access to wealth to make things happen, and I'm black. That's black privilege, like it is white privilege. I'm thinking you got to look beyond the walls, the shallowness, the shadow parts of the skin color, and look deeper in it. It's power. That's why the white lady, who last week or week before, she said that it wasn't to some degree racism that killed Floyd. It was being powerless. Because in this society, again, you live in a capitalist society that's driven by white America, and that's why blacks, that's why they don't want to give you rapper refunds. They don't. I always say reparations, but reparations. They don't want to make you powerful. It's going to make you powerful.
Yeah.
But so we are so close. We are so close, but yet so far, because I think that for you to attach. For you to say like a black person who has money has black privilege, I think is simplifying it. I think it takes a very complex set of characteristics that make up that person, and it shrinks it down to a black person with privilege. You can't simplify it like that. You do have to break it down in the nuances of what that person. That's where the economic piece. It wasn't like if it was about black privilege, then just the term black privilege, you are saying that the privilege is associated with the blackness. In this situation,
you happen to be black with the money.
No, you don't happen to be black. You don't happen to be black.
What do you mean
you
don't
are
happen?
black, and you happen to be rich. You don't happen to be black. You are born black.
What do you mean?
Happen to be rich. You happen to have money. The privilege does not come with the. No, you don't happen to be black, Tone. You are born.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. See, because we can sometimes get it twisted. We can get it. I want you to clearly hear what I'm saying for the first time, because a lot of times it's always you guys don't. I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying. So I want to make sure we get it clear. Just make it clear to what I'm telling you. I'm saying that the rule, and here it go. You go do a fact check and look in your history. So I'm gonna say this, that you live in a capitalist society. There are blacks and whites who still get along when you don't get along because they have the money to get along. Where it's not that I'm looking at your race, I'm looking at how I dominate you. And now I can do whatever I want to do because I dominate the situation. That's white privilege. Now I can bring whoever I want on, not because of your skin color. It's because it's just white privilege because I have the power to do this. I can.
Okay, take your example. Let's take like RW3 did.
I mean, I'm telling you what people are talking about right now. And people are talking about this right now. This is
guess what, Tone? And we are. Listen, you know what?
It's just y'all
we are part of those people that's talking about it, though. But we are part of those people that's talking about it. Like me and you, all of us. And let me say this. I believe, and then I want you to jump in, T. This is my thing.
To your history, too. Look at your.
I'm about to go back to history. That's what I'm about to do.
No. I'm not talking about the history books that's in your school.
Tone, I want to get my perspective from my perspective. This is my perspective.
Well, from a capitalist society, give your perspective.
My perspective is this. I don't believe holistically the dominant culture, whites, have changed historically with what their perspective is with black folk. I just don't believe it.
What do you mean? No. Say what you say.
When I get my point, then ask me follow-up questions. So
No,
So
no,
my thought is,
I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you, so I got to get an understanding of what you're saying. So revert back to what you said and say it again, so I can understand what you and get. Let me know what you're saying.
I think the overall arching mindset of whites towards black is that we're subservient and we're unequal to them. Anybody got any questions about that so far?
Is you basing that on color or wealth?
Color, brother.
That's the definition of white supremacy.
No, the definition of white supremacy or racism is that I have the power to inflict on you.
Let me finish.
You don't have the power to inflict on me.
Let me finish. So this is what I think. I think even when not even the Constitution, when they talked about us being 2/3 of a human and how there were lunch counters, right? Follow me.
Forget that.
It's important to me. To my point,
that don't have nothing to do with white supremacy in a capitalist society where money is driven. White people came to get black people. Black people didn't come to get white people. White people had already had a wealth established in their community, and they brought you because they were lazy enough not to go pick the cotton themselves. So they brought you over here and enslaved you. They were already in the forefront with their income. It wasn't about color. It was about money.
No, let me finish. No, they weren't because when they got here, they didn't have. But when they got here, they didn't have an economy established. The Indians did, so they didn't. Joe,
we're not talking about this. We're talking about white people. We're not talking about Indians.
No, I'm saying people of color, which are Indians. But anyway, so now if you, and this is a fact, there were white established businesses, and if we're talking about economics, follow me on this. There were white established businesses, and I think this is still their mindset. In the 60s, you can go to a lunch counter, right? They will say, even though you can advance my bottom line capitalistically, because you're a nigga, I'm not gonna serve you. Because you're black. And even though your money, me serving blacks, will heighten my bottom line, right?
Go back to the money,
but because you are black, because if capitalism was so heavy, they would have always made us an integral part of the economy. And they're still denying us equal access in economy because we're black. Otherwise, they will make much more money.
Yeah. White supremacy is a belief that that race is superior than other races. It has nothing to do with economics. Economics is the tool that gives power for people who have that belief to enact racism. But white supremacy in and of itself, you get some of the most poorest white trash, forgive me, but some of the most poorest white trash. You go to Idaho, Kentucky, Montana, you got some of the racist white people you will ever see that's poor and they ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. It has nothing to do with economics. It's surely
racism is right. Racism is just a title word. Is it racism? White and black, that's just a name. You're white, I'm black.
See, black privilege, they taking black privilege. That black privilege is like it just gets you in the door to more things.
Those people
it would get us in the door.
Right.
Don't have
we don't know.
Money.
I don't know if it dropped. RW3, can you hear me?
Can you hear RW3?
Yeah. So the line dropped. We had to run it in. I don't know. It's just been going out. I think that's everywhere. So no, Warman. Listen. Let me get it. I understand. I get what you're saying. With a naked eye, I understand what you're saying. Let me say it like that. I get it. With a naked eye, you're saying that it's all about skin color that determines white supremacy. And I get that. No, I get that. But do you know that it's always history show you that it's before the word racism or white and black came, you were known as a tribe. You wasn't even identified by white or black. You were identified by your tribe. and then to this one guy came in and did something with the skull, and he determined that the white brain or the skull was more beautiful. Then y'all know this story. If you had anthropology, the white skull depicted that this man, they were like gods or heaven or white as snow, whatever. And white supremacy moved from there. I'm sketching through it real quick. But what I'm trying to share with you in terms of the society that we live in, all I'm telling you is that it goes deeper than your skin color. And the only way that I can make that make sense is that if I have enough of something that you don't have, and what I have can make me more dominant than you, it's not about it. And it just happened to be, I'm going to say it again, happened to be white, because I want to put whites against black. You're undermining the system if you believe that it's about white and black and it's not a power structure within this society that we live in. I don't know what world you live. I don't know what world either one of you live in, because my thing is that I know that money is what runs this world and puts people together. Now, when I drop billions of dollars over in Iran, I don't give a crap that you Iranian or your skin color. I care about is that I can dominate you because I have more than you have. When I drop money in different countries, I can care less about your skin color.
Tone, that's economic privilege. That's all we're saying.
What we say.
You just said it. It doesn't matter the rate.
No,
it doesn't matter if you're Arab, African, Chinese. If you got the money,
that's all. It's just black people who got money. But we just titled it as black privilege. Like it's everybody black else got money.
But like everybody else, but y'all too. Everybody else is titling it, but y'all too. So what I'm telling you is this:
everybody else is what?
There's a black privilege. So we don't get this twisted, because again, everybody else talking about this, but y'all too. So I'm gonna say this: is that black privilege is when someone who has better can do better, but don't do better for me. And in fact, they won't reach out to help me because of their black privilege, this title with them. And that's what I'm seeing now. That there are people who are black privileged, who have more than what you have, and they're privileged in different areas. They just happen to be black, just like people happen to be white. Right, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, the thing about it though, I'm gonna say this because we all agree to disagree. But what I will say this,
yeah,
for a fact.
Hold
on, Tom, let me finish.
Everybody else but y'all two. No.
Everybody, because this is the thing. This is the thing.
And out of the 42 million black Americans, y'all the other two that they saying that don't believe this is y'all two. So make it clear, it's y'all two. Out of the 42 million people.
Tom, we don't agree based on how you defined it.
I'm defining it. I'm defining it like, listen. When you hold on, let me say this. When you at your job, when you at your 9 to 5, when I wake up, my day is in history. My day is learning what's going on with society. Now, if you can clearly tell me what I'm saying is wrong and prove it, then I'll go with you. But for my day, I don't go work and punch a clock. My day is I get up and I say, what am I going to do if I don't do anything up at Natasha's Bouchel Media at the company, if I go work for the company? So my thing is that I look into this stuff. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now,
I would challenge you the same thing in terms of your proof and facts. You show me a black person because again, we talk about the term black privilege, which implies that they're privileged because they are black, not because they got money, but you show me one black person that has experienced privilege in a capitalistic system because they are black, and I'll shut up.
Jay-Z, you got Jay-Z.
It's not because they're black. We're not saying because they're black.
Hold on.
We're saying
we can travel down her road though. Obama experienced it because he was black. and the blood mixing that went on within his family, saying that he even was connected to the Bushes. I can go either way, but that's not what we're talking about. We're saying that, see, the narrative is to you guys is that if you say white privilege, they're saying it because they're white and that's it, not because they dominate because of the wealth that they have, that people put a title on
access to resources,
right, access to resources,
to capital,
they just put a title on it and called it white privilege. That's the same thing with black privilege. See, you the one that got it twisted, because privilege is the word, not the color. It's the privilege because of the power that you have. Now, these people dominate because they are white, so it makes it white privilege. The same thing resort back to the black person who have the ability to have access to those things. That's called black privilege, because that person happens to be black to this title of success. So I don't know another way.
Obama was privileged. Obama was privileged because he had access to education. I mean, Obama's.
You think that's what it was?
Come on, you look at.
That's what it was?
I don't want to go, but you look at his. You look
read
at his
book.
credentials.
Go read his book.
You look. I did. I know.
Then if you read his book, you would know who was his real father. Do you know who his real father was?
Yes,
no,
I do.
No. Do you know who his adopted father was?
I know who his real father was. He was a Kenyan.
You pull up his father. Hold on, before you make that statement. Pull up his adopted father to show that this man was a billionaire and was one of the most richest presidents that lived, male presidents. And Joe Brown will even break that down to you.
Okay, well, then you just supported my claim that Obama's privilege came from his financial access, his financial status that gave him access to the best education, to Princeton education. It was not the fact that he was black.
That was wealth that got him there. It was wealth. Look up his father.
Exactly. It was his wealth. It was not his blackness.
We agree.
We're
sharing to you. That's what white and black privilege is called. That's why it's labeled. It's not driven by the color. It's driven by the success of the people who can do whatever they want to do.
We agree with that.
But that's power. That's not what they're saying.
That is power.
They're saying, I know clearly what they're saying. They're saying that it's not based on wealth, it's based on skin color. And I'm telling you that the skin color is Lovely T.
Lovely T. Are you saying
I'm saying that very thing. It is based on wealth and not color. That's why you can't say it's black privilege, because black.
Yes, you can. Everything has to have a title. Privilege. Everything has to have a title in order to follow.
What do you call it? Economic privilege. Call it educational privilege.
No, that ain't what the world calls it, though.
Call it political, social, economic privilege.
But the world doesn't call it that. That's why they title it based on the description of what it is. I'm a black man who have privilege in a certain area. That's black privilege. Listen, what drives it is not the skin color, it's the wealth. But you happen to be a certain color who have the favor. Just like I can't even say the term. But all I'm saying is that, you know, we have our opinion. Mine based on study. I don't know what y'all's based on. But my thing is that, okay, go ahead. Let's look what you said about
study as well.
Okay, we're gonna bring some facts together, and I'm gonna bring some books that you have to go deeper now.
I work with now. If you want to call out, I work with the CDC. I work with the CDC.
That don't mean anything.
Okay, listen to this.
That don't mean
anything. Black privilege. The
CDC. This world is rooted by this world.
Anti-oppression for 3 years.
Let me say this. Okay, it is an article. I don't know how fond you are with CNN, but it says in America, it says that black privilege, confused by his answer, I asked him to give me an example of a perk that I enjoy as a black man that he couldn't. His answer, Black History Month. But so it is
just read it.
Slow
down and read. Slow down, read. because if it's a good one. So
okay.
So here we go.
Perks.
I know there's a lot of perks. There's a lot of perks as who are black privileged. It's just a title that follows the wealth. You're just happen to be black with this type of money, just like white people dominate because there's more of them that has the money and the wealth from slavery in a lot of areas that got them where they were today. They just happen to be. I'm not taking the word happen lightly. When I mean that, I'm saying that that's the face that matched the power. They're white people, just like you got Arabics who have a whole lot of wealth over there in their area. They just happen to be, meaning the title behind them is Arabic. So I guess also that's what I'm saying is that there are people, whether you want to believe it, that there are people who have something called black privilege. They are privileged because of their wealth. They just happen to be black.
And this question should have said, "Do black people have privilege?" Then I would have said yes.
No,
but the question says, "Does black privilege exist?" I say
and
no.
we say no.
Obviously it does. So you tell, as Jay-Z that, as Puffy that, as Rob, as the billionaire, Mr. Johnson, the co-owner of BET, as Oprah Winfrey that, and let's see now if they tell you that, the ones who actually have the wealth, then I'll ride with you. But until then, if you believe you can get into places just like they can, let me see you do it. If you believe you got access to the same benefits that they have, let me see you do it. If you believe that you can get or move up to certain levels because of who you are and your status that follows, let me see you do it. Until then, I don't understand.
Well, that negates your point, because guess what?
Right.
If it was black privilege, Tone, then I could go in the same place as Oprah and Jay-Z and Beyonce could go in.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
If it was black privilege, then the fact that I am black should give me access.
No, it's deeper than
black
that.
Privilege.
It's connected.
Economic privilege.
It's
that is the differentiating characteristic between me and Oprah. It's not our skin color, it's our economic status.
She can do things based on her name alone that you can't do, even if you had the same money that she had. Listen, but we'll go deeper into it. Here's my thing. I get it. You don't want to believe the truth. I get it. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. One day y'all wake up and come into that reality. I get it. I understand. But this is what you do. You keep on believing in your world that you live in that there's not a such thing of people with black privilege. Just let that person come and work above you and tell you to get out of here, you fired, then you're going to understand that black privilege do exist. So you can believe what you want to believe, but I'm telling you, and not you guys directly, I'm talking to the people that's in Facebook. And I know that the people in Facebook don't believe that. I know that they believe that there is a such thing as people that have privileges that are black that can make things happen within the community, but they refuse to do it. And in fact, they take from that community instead of putting in because they know that it hurts their bottom line to the people that is connected to them. So you don't agree because you don't.
I just told you.
No, you can't agree.
Please don't.
How can you agree?
We have to allow
black privilege. So
we have to allow for our varying. What I'm saying is,
you don't believe.
But I gotta be able to talk, brother. I gotta be able to talk. Listen,
because you're not making.
Daylight said, but that's wealth privilege. Thank you, Daylight. But listen,
what?
That is wealth privilege. But listen,
okay.
Well, we're not.
Let's go to the B.
Can I make my point?
They're in
and
denial.
They have privilege.
But they're in
denial. They have privilege.
They don't make my point. Denial that black privilege doesn't exist. Go ask my point. Who talking about it right now?
Let me make my point. Let me make my point. If Oprah, and this I always have to give parabolic examples so I can get stuff clear in my mind. If Oprah was in a southern state and there was a couple, maybe it was 3 white clans people that had the intent on hanging a Negro, right? And say the first Negro they ran into that they can do it and they get caught, and it's Oprah. Do you think the fact she's Oprah will prevent them Klansmen from hanging her tea because she's over.
But that's hate, though. That's hate. That's
because
not.
I'm saying her skin. So
that's
privilege
hate.
to me is because she's Oprah. The same.
But that's hate. That's hate. That's a different mind.
And when we looked at
you're supposed to be the psychologist and the social worker and all this stuff. So let's get into the mind since you supposed to know this.
Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying. When you look at a person, it is not even fair to look at a person on one characteristic. I am black. That is not a happenstance. That is not a happenstance. I don't just happen to be black. I am black. But I am also a woman. I also have a sexual identity. I also have a religious affiliation. There are so many different domains. Hold on. There are so many different domains that make up me, the individual.
We're not talking about all those people, though.
Some of those characteristics are going to put me in a privileged status, and some of those characteristics are going to put me in a marginalized
Your
status.
connection.
Economics in a capitalistic society obviously puts you in a privilege when you have more of it. You
ain't no right. You're connected. But listen to what I'm saying. You're adding the titles. You're adding it. So what I'm saying is this. Is that even with who said that? What she said? What she just said? Who said that? Daylight. What Daylight said. What I'm saying is, if Daylight's telling the truth, then white privilege don't exist. If she's saying it's not such thing as just called wealthy, that means white privilege don't exist. So
we're telling you that white privilege does exist.
No, listen, wait a minute. If you go on what she's saying, you're saying that white privilege don't exist because it's just about wealth. So now listen, that's right. Here it go. You don't know how to connect the dots, though. So that's right. It is about wealth, but here it goes. Is white people who hold it. So that's why people call it white privilege. Not listen. If you learn the main idea in elementary, we learn that we go all the way back to school. We learn learning how to pick up the main idea. The main idea is not white. The main idea is privilege. That's the main idea. So
if I am born a white woman, I automatically, because of my skin color, will have access. I will not have to worry about my white child being pulled.
Why do you think that exists?
And having because of my skin color.
You don't think it's because of power?
This society in particular, and I'm not talking about anywhere else in the world, I'm talking about America, has villainized and dehumanized black skin. So because I was born white, I don't have to worry about my child disproportionately being at risk.
It's because of my
color. In this society, it is because of my color.
You don't have a voice. You don't have power. You're powerless in this society.
Because of my color.
No,
you can take economics out of it. You can take economics out of the poorest white people still believe that
the white people had it before you. The white people had the power before you came over here. I'm talking about slaves. Yeah. Hold on. Okay, so let's look at the premise. Let's draw some facts in this rambling conversation. Let's draw some facts in here. Now let's go back to the trade. What was the purpose of the slave trade? What was the purpose of it? Do you think they just wanted to get a lot of dark people to come over just to take care of them, or do you think it was about them keeping their wealth up to a level that make them wealthy? I mean, what do you think it was the reason that they didn't care about your black skin? They care about your back and the labor that you will put in to make them wealthy. So we're gonna go deep, right? Because, and you talked about the psychologist and the counselor and the social worker and all this and getting in the minds. So thoughts turn into beliefs, beliefs turn into actions, actions turn into perspective, perspective turns into reality. So that's a fact. That is right. Fact, okay? What about it though? So the white people in England believe
believed that they were superior. They were the superior race in the world, and therefore they had a right to go and conquer. Okay, so that was the belief that propelled their actions. So when they came over here, and it is quoted in the history books, that they looked at the Native Americans and said they are a Gentile people. They are easy to take over and easy to just, do what we want to do. That is fact. They did the same thing with black people. They used black people as a commodity, like you said, to propel their wealth. But it was the belief that they were superior, because if they thought anything else.
No, they knew they wasn't superior. That was a lie.
That they were superior. That's how they were able to go to,
that was a lie,
go to America, go to Africa, and treat us less than humans and treat us like cattle.
But that's not in your book. Listen to what I'm saying. No, I get it, but that's not deep. See, here's the thing. There's always a root cause, obviously, to anything. But it's not that they believed that they were superior. They wanted to form a lie because the dark skin ruled on this earth. So they didn't know. Listen, just like if you go in Egypt now and you see the nose is broken off, they was forming a lie. It wasn't that they actually felt that they were better. It's that they knew that they wasn't, but they had to push a people down so those people wouldn't believe that they were. It wasn't, but how did they do that? Through wealth. It wasn't, listen, here we go. You can come at me all you want. I'm talking about everybody. But this is not to the right people about race. It's never been about race. It's about dominance. Look, I'm so frustrated with the words. I can't even put them together. All I'm saying is this. You can believe all you want that it's about black and white when it's not about black and white. And there's even racist people who would tell you about a certain group of people and they put these two people together. It's about wealth. Why do you think that white people have more than black people? It's not because of their skin color. It was because it was meant to be put together. All I'm saying is this. There is proof out here from scholars who, and all we got to do is put this and you can even go on people's pages and find out this information that it's solid, even to Christopher Columbus being who he was. So my thing is that these are lies that have been pushed in. Listen, it's not because of your skin color that you're white privilege. It's because you dominate. It's your people dominate, and they've been dominating for years. So yeah, it is white privilege. But there is black privilege. Now, here's the thing, and then I'm gonna be done with it. So I can go this route. When I mean black privilege, I'm not talking about black privilege to white people. I'm talking about black privilege to black people. Meaning the reason that some people don't step in is because of the deals and the contracts that they have already made that deals with white people, and they don't want to lose certain financial benefits or whatever that they will get because of them talking to their own people. Now, how you title it, that's your business.
So it's like blacks. So we have blacks that are the have and the have not blacks.
Yeah, the have and the have not. Yeah, you have black privilege. Puffy is privileged to be black. He's a privileged person, and he happened to be black. Jay-Z is a privileged person that happened to be black. And I can go and I mean, like I said, it's even billionaires who's saying this. I'm not the only one who's saying this. They're saying the same thing. So all we're saying is this, so that we won't just stand at a standstill that's not making sense, but to say this, listen, if you have the means to do better or to help someone else out that is your own people, meaning color, you should do so. You shouldn't look at the fact that I have these resources and I don't want to break ties with these people. So now you're making a choice to say that my money is more important than human life. You see what I mean? And see, so that's what I'm
and that's
saying.
almost kind of like Lil Wayne said. He said, well, it's just me and my kids. I got, that's all, and nothing else was ever going on out there in the world. I have nothing. I'm closed off to any of that. It's just me and my family. That's black privilege, because it's like you don't see the realness what's going on because you're in your own little world.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I'm identifying you as the same color as me, and you happen to be able to be privileged in areas that I can't even come to. I don't have $100 million in the bank. So my thing is that's considered Black privilege. I'm Black and I'm privileged, just like white people. But it's all about the power behind it, and that's the dollar. That's the capitalism. That's what's going on in this country. Now, I'm not talking to my co-host, because they believe a certain way, but I am talking to the people out here in this YouTube world to let you know that, look, if you are the person that is Black privilege, I'm gonna keep that title, that hopefully you're making a difference within your community, because here it go. You're only privileged to the degree where you can do more than other Black people, but you're not privileged to the society that be, and here it go, to the white society who dominates. Because now listen, if we had the most wealth or just like them, we'll be an even privileged people, but we're not, and we happen to be Black. So however you want to terminate in your mind, put the terminology on, or be in denial in an area that there's not Black people that are privileged, that's on you. But I am saying, people, listen, we got to get out here. We have to make a difference. We have to help one another, because that's what's going to make a difference at the end of the day. I believe that, I'm privileged in certain areas, and I help, You see what I mean? I help financially. So my thing is that, and I'm not trying to shy on anything that's going on with me, but I am saying that, my family is very blessed in areas, because I don't put my business out there, but we're blessed. You see what I mean? We're fine. You know what I mean? But we can help other people when it's necessary, and we help those other people because of the things that I can do. So all I'm saying is, what is it that you can do out there, talking to those people who can do things a little bit more than the average person. Right. So I mean, what can you do? Do it. Make a difference. If you have to go, just go ahead and go. But if you can help. That's what I want to go at, because I don't want to get caught up in the terminology. More so is my point is that you can't be like Lil Wayne and be in denial to what's going on, and your Black privilege can help, but you don't, because you don't want to be cut off. So that's what I'm saying. That's not going to work for us. We have to be unified Black people. We have to be unified and look at this thing to say, hey, I need my brother to stand with me in this success, because I might need him down the road. Whereas so many white people who can come against me, at least I have a couple of brothers who's making a certain amount of money that I'm making, and we can walk down this road, and I got somebody who got my back. Just like the Arab people in the Dearborn community. Those people have so much structural balance within their community in terms of their wealth, economics, that is crazy. And they won't even let you in. They won't even let you in, because they understand that it's not about my skin color in this society, but it's about the wealth that I have and how that wealth turns to power, so that now I have a voice for my people. You don't see a lot of Arabs getting the police ain't killing them, shooting them down. Their community will stand up together. So that's what I'm saying. Black privilege, come out of it. Do right by your people. Help your people, because we need your help. Kudos and shout out. I'm hoping that reparations will come for our people and the form that it needs to come in. But I'm saying that I'm for reparations. I'm about to say reparations. You're not about to say rapper refunds again, right?
So can I add a little bit too? I just want to say, like, to our audience, like, here's the thing. Like, I think that, we all have our positions and our perspectives, and I would just like, for us to all honor our perspectives, and like, RW3 say, agree to disagree. I don't think that, unless we actually are pulling out the book and making quotes, that one person's perspective is necessarily the truth and the others are lies or just way off. I think there's room for multiple perspectives to exist, and leave it up to the audience to decide, like, what they feel is truth or what they feel is not truth. Because we can get passionate with these conversations, you know, and we most of the time, like everything you're saying in terms of what we need to do as a people, I think you know, we wholeheartedly agree. It's just that in the nuances of our conversation, we come from different perspectives. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, just because mine is different than yours or RW3 is different than mine, it doesn't mean that one happens to be absolute 100% right and the other is absolutely 100% wrong. So,
and
right.
and I think, you know, with us, we you know, with our what we do day to day, and I've been with Tone long enough, and you know, T, that you know, even in, because I know in terms of, I'm looking at all these books and stuff like that, as much as I read, as much as I study, I don't think what we all do vocationally prevents us from gaining knowledge in terms of what's happening around us. I think because I'm constantly studying, reading, and also, I mean, just like I'm sure you two all are as well, I'm living these experiences every single day. So, of course, you have historical perspective. Of course, the things that we read, of course, in our lived experiences can bring us to a particular place. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll end it like that. All I'm saying is that there is a race that dominates because of what they have, and they understand that's the game. It's nothing personal, but it is about money. At the end of the day, it's about keeping power. And if I have power, I have control. And that's what makes me, or that's what make it a dominant situation, because I control. I can care less about your skin color, but it just goes with you. You black, but I rule because of what I have. This is a capitalist society again, like we said. So that's what makes it a difference between, to me, and those people who are black that allow white people or have those connections with white people that give them a privilege. And there's nothing wrong with that privilege. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with black privilege. I love that word. There's nothing wrong with black privilege, but here's the thing. You're gonna have to with that comes what is that word? Responsibility. You know, with that white privilege or black privilege comes responsibility. So where you have, you should step up to the plate, because I do believe it exists, and maybe I'll pull up some things, and then it goes so far back where you have to get in economics to understand how this country, your founding fathers, the lies they were told, the money that was put in. Anyway. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we agree. We agree to disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly to the freaking bone. I agree to the freaking bone that I know that black privilege exists. So guys, but in saying that, you know, it's people who don't believe it don't exist. So I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So but there you go. Guys, we're gonna cut it, because what time is it? Well, no, it's actually 6:31. I don't know if anything you guys want to talk about, just, you know, what's going on with anything in terms of project.
We actually we because we know what we had. We was gonna do this one, and we had an hour for another one. This one gave us a couple good hours.
yeah, this one gave us a good hour. Yeah, that's right. That's why it's just, you know, black people, put your feet in the fire. Get out there. You know, get out there, make a difference in your community without getting paid for it. Make a difference in your community.
Fill out the census. They said Detroit is like return rate right now is like in the 30%, and then they did a comparison to like I think, I don't know, Madison Heights, Bloomfield Hills, somewhere, and they were like, you know, 76%. So, you know, when you talk about getting engaged, we know that, you know, the door-to-door canvassing was hugely impacted because of COVID-19. We know that, you know, our Latinx family community, you know, a lot of them are fearful of ICE and things of that nature, I just encourage all of our listening audience, if you know someone, if you yourself or someone who hasn't taken the time out to fill the census, please do. Please encourage that, because that is one way that we can get, federal resources sent to our communities. And if we miss this, it's another 10 years before we have an ability to do it again. That's a whole generation, folks. That's a whole generation. So get out there, fill out the census.
So do next week or whatever, is there any way we can put up an address or somewhere where they can actually call to make that happen? Maybe we probably need to give them some information if we believe that makes a difference within that community, that we will get out and do what we need to do. Now, guys, before we go, what do you think? Do you think that how do you think this election going to go? We ain't doing this to argue. Trust me. I'm cutting it short. I'm just, what do y'all think? How do y'all think things are looking out there on the campaign trail since it's pretty much starting back up?
I think it appears, but it's hard to tell, but it appears that, with those swing states that because of people, but from what I understand, it wasn't that he took some of those traditional Democratic states and won because of who he was. Some people chose the lesser of two evils, and people just disliked Hillary even more. And they said a lot of Black people sat at home. I think it was a large percentage of people that supported Obama didn't even get out to vote during the last election. The recent polls show Biden right now, general election, 50% to 38%. So right now it appears that Biden is ahead. But if we get out and push, because I even think they're not saying it. I think the Republican Party, I think they're tired of him too, because he's not a traditional conservative. So I'm thinking they're hoping quietly, I hope he loses. Because I think they want some traditional normalcy in terms of their traditional conservatism, in terms of their party and everything. So as of now, though, I think it looks like he might not get reelected, but we'll see.
But I'm gonna say this. See, here's the thing, and see, I was listening to Rob Johnson today and how he was talking about when he was talking about the monies that Black people are owed. He was saying how we have to stop just giving our vote because we just expect to vote Democratic. And right. he was saying that, we need to start, because he said it too, because we live in a capitalist society. That's what makes a difference. He was saying that Black people should have started the same thing I've been saying about a party that forms power, so that we can go to each one, Democrat or Republican, and ask them, listen, if you want my vote, you need to pass this reparations. If you don't want to pass it, then I need to go over here. He said that's what makes us. He said because you giving your vote to the lesser evil, what difference does it make when they gonna tremble? Listen, this is the same person. I'm not dogging or biting down, but I'm gonna be honest. You can tell what he's doing. He's feeding to these Black people. Listen, this the same man who turned around and said that no way that he feels that he need to give to reparations because he was not responsible for that. That's what this man said. So Trump obviously probably even said worse. But what I'm saying is that I'm gonna go on record and tell you I'm not voting for either one. I'm not voting. I'm not voting for either one, because neither one of them can help the Black struggle. They'll lie to you and tell you they want to help. I'm getting there. I'm going upstairs. Listen, this is what I would tell Black people. I'm gonna play this stupid role. You know what I'm gonna say? If I was Black, I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't vote for neither one of them until one of them could come up and say, hey, listen, this is what we're prepared to do, and we want to make this thing happen. See, that's where our voice should be. Like even Rob Johnson was saying today, he was saying, do you know how much power the black person have right now, right this second? And we're just going to give it away because of a lesser evil? So all I'm saying to our black people, we have to wake up. We have to be woke. From what I understand, what woke being is that, you know, hey, listen, what are you willing to do? And this is on the table. My black people need to be reparations, just like you gave it to everybody else. If you want my vote as a party, a black party, our people need reparations, and you can do it if you wanted to. See, so that's
I think
where our voice need to be at.
I think though it's kind of like a chess game because, okay, unlike a blackout, you know, if let's say black people decided to not make any financial purchases for a week, you know, so we took away we chose not to spend our money, you know, that would cause attention. We could say, we're not spending our money with you unless you do ABC. But I think the difference with the political game is that if we choose to not vote, then we give power to those who do. So if we say,
they need us though. You know, it's 42 million Americans. Listen to what I'm saying. Just like Rob Johnson was saying today, they need our vote. See, here's the thing.
They need here's the thing. They need our vote to win. Biden needs our vote to win. Trump doesn't need our vote to win.
Trump need our vote. Trump need our vote.
Who benefits if we don't vote?
Say what?
Who benefits from us as a people if we and the power of our vote and our numbers? If we don't vote, who benefits?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's the chance. See, here's the thing. See, that's our problem now, is because we're not willing to figure that out. We're not willing to find out, but we think our vote counts as much with all of these cops being killing black folk. So what I'm saying is this. That's the sacrifice. The sacrifice is in that these black people is taking these politicians serious. They say, we're not voting for either one of you if you're not going to step up to the plate. Because listen, here it go. If I was Donald Trump, or if I was Joe Biden, what makes this special is this. If you say no and he say yeah, if we give all our votes to him, he going to win White House. It's not going to be, listen, if the 42 black African Americans cast their vote towards meaning the person who's looking more to our favor, that person is going to be put in the White House. It's not going to be because we didn't vote, because they're going to come after our vote.
But I'm saying right now, unless there, you know, and you know, I do speak from a level of not knowing all the intricacies of the I'm gonna be honest, the political process. But because with the presidential, you figure it's about the
not the popular vote, the electronic.
Right. What is it? Not the popular vote.
I can't pronounce it. Yeah.
Correct. So the question becomes, and so right now is Biden and Trump. That's who we got. That's what we got. We don't have that. We're too late in the game. November is right around the corner. We're too late in the game
to say no.
Not to say no, but I'm saying at this point, us saying no allows for those who are pro-Trump to, you know, and here's the caveat to that. I don't know. So here's my question. If we pull out if all the black people or all people of color pull out of voting because they feel they don't have a candidate that represents them, will either candidate be able to get enough electoral votes to win? That's my question. That's the piece I don't know.
But it won't depend on that.
The only way that us not voting then becomes a power play. Because without us, nobody wins.
If not, like if we never voted, because like for example, each state in the electoral college, either there are some states, because it doesn't matter if all the black people are, like how many people actually go to the polls, and if the most go towards, say, Trump, and if it's a state, because some states winner take all electoral votes, right? And some states, depending on percentage, some will go to Trump and some will go to Biden. So even if we pull it out and say it's 500 people, if we pull out, say we're 200, those 300 is going to decide what it is.
It won't go that far.
If we pull out or not, if we pull out, doesn't matter, because whatever those numbers are, if we're a state where winner take all electoral college, Biden or what we call it going to take off.
But
if
listen,
we're a state where it splits, the percentage will go. So it don't matter if we pull out.
But hold on, but look at the numbers. See, the thing that never lies is numbers. Numbers never lie. So listen to what I'm saying. If you have 42 million Americans who are able to vote, listen to what I'm saying. It will never get that far where they would say, oh, if the blacks aren't voting, then we'll leave them alone. It'll never get that far. What they will do is they'll want to ensure their vote. Listen, these people don't have nothing to lose. They're millionaires and billionaires and politicians. These politicians are. So they don't have anything to lose. So my thing is, if blacks say we're not voting until we get someone who's going to step up to the plate and answer these or get this work done, that's who we're going to cast our vote to. It's never going to be where they're going to say, oh, well, I guess we won't trust them not to vote. They're not going to do that. They're too greedy. They want to be in out.
Like you made a point earlier in our discussion. And this is why, again, to the point we were kind of talking about earlier. In terms of economics. So if say the blacks, like to them, the ones that, because we all agree, it sounds like that the white folk hold the power, they got the money. That's my assumption. So if black folk pull out the voting only, but we still gonna spend our money, they're still economically being empowered to do what they're doing. Now, let's take the bus boycott. What happened when Rosa Parks, for 381 days, we didn't ride the bus. Destroyed because we weren't spending money. We was catching cabs, walking, supporting each other as a people. So when that money started getting funny, they flipped the script because it impacted their money.
But who was the president though? I'm
saying, if we pull out of voting, but we still spending our money, they don't give them a reason to do anything different. Because we ain't voting, they still in power, and if we still going out spending our money and their businesses, we're still doing those things, what we encourage them to change?
Well, let me tell you why. Because here it go. It's all about being in the White House. It's all about sitting in that position. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you don't vote, if black people don't vote, that makes it. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump. We get that, right? We know a lot of people don't like. So, but here's the thing. If I go to Donald Trump and say, listen, if you want to be in the White House this year, we got to get these past sins taken care of. You got to pay the debt. See what I mean? If you don't, then we're going over here to Biden. And Biden's going to get it done. And you know our 42 million votes is going to put this man in the White House. I'm talking about all of our votes. What do you think that put Obama in the White House? Black folks went out. White folks went out. Black folks went out to vote. And when Obama, they didn't even care who this man was. They just voted because he was a black man. That same thing will stand again. To say that, listen, I'm giving my vote to this man because he's meeting our requirements so that we can live our lives better and protect our own self through financial gain or compensation. So all I'm saying is that I believe maybe it's too late now. I don't know. I don't think it's too late because all you got to do is just don't vote. It's not too late not to vote. So my thing is that if we had the mindset to say that we got the power, this is how this world rules. A majority wins. So all I'm saying is if black people say no, we're tired of it. We're tired of you saying that you're going to do this. In fact, you don't even answer half of our questions. You just try to appeal to us. Don't even come in our midst until election. And then you show your butt up in election talking about come vote for me. No, Okay, well, just like you want to use me, I want to use you. Give me this money, and then we'll let you in. But we're gonna take care of our people. Now,
So, but if I can,
go ahead.
I agree with you, Tone. But I'm just saying that the power is not in us not voting. The power is because your threat. So I'm breaking down your threat. Your threat is give us or attend to and address our concerns, or we're going to vote for the other candidate. So the power is in who we vote for, but we still have to vote in order for that threat to be a viable threat. Us not voting the power is not in us not voting. The power is in who we vote for. So I agree in everything you're saying. I just think that the power rests differently than what you're saying. Like if we hope, like that threat of us not voting is a threat to Biden, not to Trump. It's a threat to Biden. So in order for Biden to get our votes, he has to speak to our concerns. I mean, and I guess either candidate. If Trump wants our votes, if he wants our votes, he has to, you know what I'm saying, speak to our concerns. But the power is in our vote, not in us not voting.
Yeah, I think it's in us not voting, because not voting it pushed the threat. It shows you to say, listen, this is what I'm not going to do if you don't do what you should do. Because what if either one of them say, no, we're not giving to those we don't care. So what did that mean? If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter if we vote or not, you get what I mean? If it doesn't matter, because they can say that we can go to both our white people and get the votes anyway, what does it matter if we vote for them? It's still going to be discrimination. It's still going to be all of these things inside of this, even if we do vote. But I am saying, when we say we're not voting, what happens is if you don't vote that election, the next time they're going to want your vote, because they're going to see that you are serious and that you aren't just saying words, but you're sticking down to it. Because guess what? More so, they're going to be coming after your vote more than the white vote, because they know you already pulled this off and y'all didn't vote. And most people know you still need African Americans. You still need our vote. Our vote is very important. So that's why I'm saying we use that to say, listen, hey, y'all got to make up in your mind what you're going to do. Until then, we're not voting for either one of you until somebody come up with we got a list of things. This is what we need. We're not voting for either one of you. That's all I'm saying.
The question for me then becomes, can we afford 4 more years of the current candidate? I mean, because the status quo is going to keep the current president in office. It's those who will change their mind about who they voted for in the previous election, and those who didn't vote in the previous election to change the status quo. So, with any threat, in order for it to be viable, you have to be willing to carry through with it. So I'm just saying, are we willing to deal with the cost of us not voting and keeping the status quo for another 4 years in order for us to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, yeah, you're right. I don't think that we're ready. I'll say this, I don't think that we're ready. Well, I hope we are, but I think it's just more about educating our people, just educating them. A lot of times we do things because we just don't know, or we don't understand a way out. And when you give some type of direction, maybe that might bring an understanding of why we shouldn't vote. Because our vote is important, we shouldn't vote, so that we can get those things to pass through. But I don't want to hold you up. We could talk like this forever. It's 6:50, 6:52. Guys, listen, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Whether this was what type of conversation, I don't know. This
was a fiery. What was good? It was good. I wish we had a little more audience participation, but it was good. It was good.
I think it was pretty good. But look, Lovely T, I'm about to get on off here. Guys, it's been nice talking with you guys. The podcast is going to be. Yeah, I want to talk about y'all. Will Trey, do me a favor. When you get a chance, send Lady B your number, because she got a number, her phone, and a lot of those numbers didn't pull over. So if you still got her information. So if not, we'll probably try to email it to you. I don't know if we got your number at all. But just you know how to do it. Just even if you got to, because I need to get Roberts the same.
Okay. I think we thought we were sending it, but we'll do what we need to do to make sure you have our information.
Okay, so guys, listen, we're signing off. Like and share.
Have a wonderful Father's Day.
Hey, we appreciate you. Exactly. Until your significant other, have a good Father's Day. And guys, y'all be safe and be safe. That's it. Be safe. Talk to you later. Peace.